Francisco Giants were on the even year thing while the Lynx were on the odd year thing. But what's been pretty impressive, Rebecca, is that this team has still been able to go to the playoffs over the last 2 seasons despite uncertainty and serious roster fluctuation.
Yeah, I think a lot of us, me included, thought last year was going to be a rebuilding year, only returning 3 players, that it would be a season where they might not make the playoffs. Instead, not only made the playoffs, but won a game.
Actually lost a tight game
yes.
to Seattle.
But made the playoffs.
But they made the playoffs.
That's the bigger point.
Yeah. And a foul called against Connecticut. Minnesota is in the bonus, so free throws coming here for the Lynx. Karima Christmas-Kelly hits the first free throw. 10th season in the WNBA for this veteran. Has played for Washington, Tulsa twice, Indiana, Dallas, and now Minnesota. It was actually a member of the 2012 Indiana team that beat the Lynx in the finals. Connecticut able to maintain control. And a whistle on the jumper is going to put Kyla Charles at the line.
And that's the thing, you know, with Kyla Charles. She's not, in college at Maryland, was not a threat from the three-point line. But, man, can she put the ball on the floor and get into the paint and finish. Only took 45 threes her entire college career.
I didn't hear it. Yeah.
Kyla Charles,
they just called rip. Yeah,
one of 3 former Terps who are on this Connecticut roster. Alyssa Thomas and Brianna Jones as well.
Kyla, talk about your matchups. No.
I think Kurt Miller wants Kyla to talk about her matchups. What do you think?
This is where you're like, Coach, I'm the one on the free throw line. Don't mess with my flow. Yeah, because he sees play. I mean, that's one of the things this year, because there's so many subs coming in and out because of the way the schedule is, and coaches really feeling they need to go deep in their roster, that you have to pay attention to this stuff. If you're on the free throw line, there's probably somebody coming in somewhere.
You know, also you end up wondering, will foul trouble play an even bigger role in these games because the rosters aren't quite as deep?
Anything that will force a player's minutes to be limited is going to be impactful.
Nafisa Collier, you saw, go to check in and then head back to the Minnesota bench as Minnesota turns it over for a 9th time this half. And Thomas able to turn it into an easy 2. That spin is silky smooth from Alyssa Thomas.
Even after what she did in the finals last year, I still feel like Alyssa Thomas is an underrated player.
Johnson flips it in, plus the foul. A well-oiled massage left of the lane by Shanice Johnson.
This is what a well-oiled massage looks like.
You just got to wiggle your way in there.
Yeah. And she's shifty. She's good off the bounce. She's really good in the pick and roll. And for Minnesota to be good, she's going to have to be able to get to a place where she can play heavier minutes than 2 or 3 at a time.
No, I think the encouraging thing if you're Minnesota right now with this game would be you've turned it over quite frequently. You haven't shot it well at all, and yet you're down just 5.
Yeah.
9 turnovers in the half for Minnesota. Here's Jasmine Thomas. Dewana Bonner using the screen from Brianna Jones. Jones can't hit. Rebound fought for, but saved right back to Connecticut, and now free throws for Brianna Jones as Sylvia Fowles will pick up her first personal.
The second Brianna Jones caught that basketball, she hesitated for a second. You could hear Kurt Miller scream, finish. That's what she is. She's a finisher. When she was in college, she led the nation in field goal percentage. When she gets the ball inside, don't look to pass, Brianna. You've got to hit that one. This is another player who she's starting today. she's going to have a real opportunity this year without Jonquel Jones being with the team to play minutes and show in longer stretches than she's been given so far what she can do in this league.
Well, you look at Brianna Jones as well as Bria Holmes as players who were pieces off the bench for Connecticut last year with their very consistent rotations, who now may have to play a bigger role this season. Here's Brown. The handoff from Fouls. Good setup here for Banham, who can't hit the three. Had a good look from the corner. Good rejection underneath from Minnesota to spring the break.
Move! Come on, stand!
Christmas Kelly on the block.
Stand! Work!
Shanice Johnson wiggling her way to the block and squeezes it in. And Kurt Miller will take a timeout. Nice little flurry from Minnesota to make it a 3-point game. Shanice Johnson has started to find her rhythm. 9 points to lead all Minnesota scorers.
Welcome back in. Minnesota has pulled within 3. Welcome back in. Minnesota has pulled within 3. And that last time out, Kurt Miller, the Connecticut Sun coach, was very vocal with his team. He said, you had them. You had them. They had them on the ropes, leading by double digits in this first half. But he said they are playing with intensity. They are taking it straight through us. We're going up soft. We're not going up through the back square on the backboard. Look for them to be more intense as they go to the rim and try to get back in this game and control that lead.
Yeah, there have been a number of places where Connecticut has not finished. Not Alyssa Thomas. She finishes most of the time.
Yeah.
But when they've gotten good looks and just simply haven't been able to put them down.
It almost feels like it's time for Holly Rowe to tell the story of Alyssa Thomas's torn labrum, doesn't it?
It definitely feels that way.
16 points, 6 of 6 shooting, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals already for Alyssa Thomas.
If only we had a way of getting her to tell the story.
Hey, Holly, what do you think? Should you tell that story?
The Alyssa Thomas torn labrum story?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you down for it? Are you game?
I'm down for it. Yeah, a lot of people may not realize she started out her career shooting as a lefty, even though she does everything else right-handed. She would copy her cousin growing up who was a lefty. So she's actually ambidextrous, but sometimes her shoulders hurt because she's got a torn labrum in that right shoulder. But you guys, I have to say, she has no kinesio tape, no support on those shoulders. It looks like this layoff has been very great for her because I don't see any of the typical trappings that we see on Alyssa Thomas right now.
That's a good point. You always would see tape on the shoulders for her. Thomas has just been incredible thus far today. Picking up right where she left off last season. That's going to be an offensive foul against Thomas as she extended her left arm.
Yeah, you got Rima. You got Rima. Yeah.
Yeah, Alyssa Thomas, she's a physical player, and that time as she's posting up, when you post up, your arms go up, your elbows go up, and when it makes contact with your defender's face, it's a foul. In case we need to clarify
Yeah, no, I'm
that.
glad you clarified that. Look at that line from Alyssa Thomas thus far.
Active.
We're okay.
Deflect it.
We're okay.
Deflect
We're
it.
okay.
Here's Banham.
Deflect it.
Minnesota hoping Banham really runs with an opportunity here with the Lynx.
Get up.
Catch and fire from Brown is short. The rebound caroms into the arms of Jasmine Thomas, and then Alyssa Thomas is fouled by Banham, and that's going to mean free throws for Alyssa Thomas.
I need to get a track of just Kurt Miller's audio, like move, hands, all this stuff, and like to play just maybe during my workouts.
I don't know
keep you going, keep you motivated. Move.
You may be throwing your back out if, if you just follow that as your plan. Alyssa Thomas misses the first free throw. Now, because of those shoulder issues that Holly documented, Alyssa Thomas has struggled from the line, especially in recent years. Misses 2 there, shot it at 50% from the line a season ago. Minnesota, 10 of 11 from the line. Connecticut is just 7 of 16 from the free throw line in this first half, and they will have a couple more opportunities here.
42% for the foul line.
This sounds like Kurt Miller just got the stats that we were saying.
Yeah. Last year, Connecticut shot 70% from the line, which was low for them. Kurt
Was
Miller
lowest
teams,
in the WNBA.
yeah, Kurt Miller teams usually shoot well from the line, and part of that is impacted by Alyssa Thomas. She is a poor free throw shooter, although she shot well in the finals last year. And she takes so many of them, it can impact the team's overall numbers.
Well, Thomas hits both. Jasmine Thomas. Lead is back to 7 for Connecticut after Minnesota had cut it to 3.
Taggers.
Johnson has it deflected. Banham being harassed by Bonner. 7 to shoot. Johnson with 5 to shoot. Johnson on the drive. Curls it up wildly out of bounds. Connecticut ball.
2 for 1. 2 for 1.
And you can hear Kurt Miller saying 2 for 1, so he's going to want a quick shot here from Connecticut with just a 9-second differential game and shot clock. Bonner trying to find that shot. Squeezes it up and in. Just a 0.6-second differential between game and shot clock, but an efficient bucket there from Connecticut.
No foul.
And now it's Minnesota's turn to efficiently use the clock.
Gotta have. Think! Yes! Come on!
I'm thinking, you thinking?
That's all I've been doing. 5.3 seconds
Step back out.
remaining in this first half.
Deny it. Push! Hard!
Here's foul.
Straight up!
Fouls on the attack, lost the handle.
Get a shot up.
Connecticut controls. Bonner won't get a shot off, but a stout defensive half from Connecticut as Minnesota matches their fewest points in a first half since 2016. Alyssa Thomas, 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. an outstanding start to this 2020 season for Alyssa Thomas. That's the end of the first half. In Bradenton, our score, Connecticut 37, Minnesota 28. Stay tuned for the WNBA halftime report presented by State Farm. It's coming after these messages.
Well, plenty of emotion, some dancing. Everyone fired up for the start of the WNBA season opening weekend. Connecticut, a 37-28 lead on Minnesota as we get ready to start the third quarter. We welcome you back inside our studios in Bristol. Ryan Rucco alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. You know, for Connecticut, a lot of changes, but some things, they remain the same. And Alyssa Thomas, wow, what a dominant first half from Alyssa Thomas.
Yeah, Alyssa Thomas was so efficient in that first half, and she played to her strengths. She got the ball, got out in transition. She does that as well as any player in the entire WNBA, and she can score. She will take it inside. She can absorb contact, finish with either hand. She's constantly in motion offensively, whether she has the basketball in her hands or not. She looks like she's picking up right where she left off a season ago, looks really fit. This is what we talk about, facilitating forward. So good going end to end with the spin over the left shoulder. I mean, this is vintage Alyssa Thomas.
Dominant numbers for Alyssa Thomas. 16 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists on 6 of 6 shooting. Let's take a listen in to her head coach, Wired for Sound.
And we're hurting them in transition. So if we can get out and rebound, get out and run. Right? The only thing I'll say is we're settling for some tough jumpers. I think we can keep attacking, and we can pass up every once in a while, one early in the shot clock, if we'll go get the next good screen and get into that second action.
Well, right away, Connecticut starts the second half with an easy bucket.
I don't think that was the second action, though. I think that was the primary
the first action, huh? And it was an effective action, that's for sure. Minnesota had trouble with turnovers in the first half, and we see them start the second half that way as well. Here's Holmes, denied by fouls, who almost controlled it as well, just could not quite grip onto it after the rejection.
That's Bria Holmes' game, is to try to take you off the bounce, beat you, use her athleticism. It's going to take a little bit of time for her to get that bounce back in her step that we're accustomed to.
Jumper for Jasmine Thomas is short.
Keep going.
And here comes Minnesota. The pull-up jumper, no, from Shanice Johnson. Maybe could have gotten a better look, too, with a fast break developing. Thomas able to gather after the save from Holmes. How about Bonner? Off on a 3. Nice job by Fowles to slap the rebound away from Alyssa Thomas. Flag down by Shanice Johnson. Here's Duntis fading away. And in. Nice skill there from Damaris Duntis.
Yeah, showed real patience, fading over the right shoulder in the one-on-one matchup.
Come on, Dee Dee, active, Dee Dee. Talk to her, come on, Fee. Come on, Fee.
Bonner trying to duck inside, got the whistle. Might have been Lexi Brown coming over with the help.
Fee, if you let her catch it, that's what happens.
And you could hear Cheryl Reeves saying, Fee, if you let her catch it, that's what happens. Wanting to
prevent the pass from going in. And those are the times as a player, and you're like, yeah, I know. I know I wasn't supposed to let him get the ball. Sometimes you know what you're supposed to do, and you just don't quite do it.
Well, this has been an issue for Minnesota today. That is the 4th foul on Nafisa Collier, the reigning Rookie of the Year, who has to be one of the stalwarts for Minnesota to have success this season, has had a tough debut.
And in fairness, that's something that Cheryl Reeves and her coaching staff have really worked on with their post this year, because they allowed a lot of those passes to go in a season ago. So it's been a point of emphasis for them in this training camp. So understand why she is a bit frustrated there.
Fouls the turn and finish on a beautifully timed delivery from Damaris Duntis.
High-low?
High-low. That's what Minnesota's had their best success with this game. Nothing gets Rebecca as excited as big-to-big pass. Here's Thomas. Try to force a pass. No one there. Christmas Kelly comes away with it for Minnesota. Shanice Johnson wiggling her way through traffic. Couldn't finish, but there on the follow is Sylvia Fowles. Sylvia Fowles, first all-time in field goal percentage, fourth in blocks, second in rebounds in WNBA history. Only player top 5 in all 3 of those categories. As Brianna Jones pushes the lead back to 9 for Connecticut.
Bounce around! Bounce around!
The layup short. Fowles there for the cleanup, though.
Yeah, Sylvia Fowles has done a really nice job the last 2 possessions. You know, if she can't just get direct passes into her, she's going and getting the basketball.
12 points, 13 rebounds from Fowles.
You got both.
Jones bodying into Fowles. Couldn't get it to go, and a whistle.
That team has got to play harder.
Sylvia Fowles, you heard Holly Rowe talking about the shape that she's in and how she is ready to go this season. Well, she's been attacking the offensive glass and has had some success the last couple of possessions getting there.
You could see, or you could hear Cheryl Reeve saying Randy trying to get the attention of official Randy Richardson, feeling that Brianna Jones had changed her pivot foot before the foul. As Jones hits the free throw.
She certainly changed her pivot foot, but could have been because of the foul.
51. Push it! Loop dribble!
Pressure that.
Loop dribble! Loop dribble! Go! Other way! Come on, sprint! Sprint! Go, D! Go, turn it! Come on, Sil! Roll! Roll, U-turn! Foul! Foul! Sil, foul! Good Lord, Randy!
Get in the stands!
Randy! Randy!
Back screen! Jack! Back screen, green!
The way Cheryl Reeve is talking to Randy is the way I sometimes talk to my husband when stuff hasn't been done right at the house.
Poor Steve.
Randy!
The 3 is short from Crystal Dangerfield.
One! Face!
Any new books from Steve Rushing on the horizon that we should know about?
They're in the works, but
Okay.
they're no imminent release date. What a nice take by DeWanna Bonner, finishing on that end. She's like, you're gonna take it at me on one end, I'm gonna take you at you on the other.
DeWanna Bonner in double figures, 11 points, and an 11-point Connecticut lead. Minnesota will take a timeout, talk things over.
Taco Bell's new grilled cheese burrito is filled with nacho cheese sauce and a delicious 3-cheese blend. And even more.
Going on a lot. You know how they say you don't miss something until it's gone? Well, I've definitely been missing this. Been waiting for that. Oh, and that, definitely missing that. Thankfully, the wait is over. Because it's all back. Well, with a slight twist. It's the game you love, like we've never seen it before. 22 teams, all in one place, ready to make history. Yeah, this isn't the same NBA. It's a whole new game. But I think we can all agree, we're glad it's back.
Welcome back. The Minnesota Lynx trail the Connecticut Sun 47-36. Well, Sylvia Fowles is on pace to become the leading rebounder for the Minnesota Lynx. She would be breaking one of her assistant coach's all-time rebounding records. She is just 12 away from setting that new record. Look at this, chasing the most rebounds in WNBA history. Rebecca Brunson holds that record. Sylvia Fowles getting very close. I would anticipate she breaks that perhaps in the next game. And it's kind of fun because her assistant coach, Rebecca Brunson, is on the bench here for the Minnesota Lynx. Included on that staff, Clennette Pearson, Katie Smith. This might be the most championship caliber coaching staff in the WNBA. All three of those women have won championships with the WNBA, and now here they are mentoring this next generation of Minnesota Lynx. I just love it. You should watch them at practice. Like, the mentoring and all of the discussions that go on, it is a beautiful thing to watch for Minnesota.
And some of the toughest defenders at their positions this league has ever seen.
I wouldn't want to take on that group in a pickup game.
No, you wouldn't.
Bonner lost the handle out of bounds, and I believe it's going to stay with Connecticut. Katie Smith, former head coach of the New York Liberty. Clennette Pearson, as well as Rebecca Brunson.
Cheryl Reeve with the all-female coaching staff this season.
DB, keep working!
Walt Hopkins, her assistant the last 3 years, left to become the head coach of the Liberty. Year before that, James Wade became the head coach of Chicago. The Reeve tree is growing. Leaning shot, rims in for Crystal Dangerfield. What do you think about Crystal Dangerfield and how she might fit with Minnesota?
It's going to be a learning curve for her. You know, she comes in, she's small. For a WNBA player, the physicality, I think, is something she's going to have to get used to. But she's a really hard worker, deep range on her three-point shot. She also has that nice floater that we just saw. So it's going to take a little bit of time for her, but I think she has a chance to be successful in that particular system. See here, just a nice back cut, and that's a shot that Connecticut UConn fans have seen for a lot of years, just a floater in the middle of the key.
Crystal Dangerfield was actually collegiate teammates of Nafisa Collier for 3 years at Connecticut. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, Gino Auriemma, who recruited Crystal Dangerfield to UConn and coached her there for 4 years, said she is smart as you know what. She can get anywhere she wants to on the basketball court, and it is going to be an adjustment with the physicality, but her speed and her savvy should make up for some of that. She's just getting her first real run for the Minnesota Lynx right now, but she's looked good here. She is a smaller player, but she told me she totally believes in herself. She knows that she can play at this level because she's strong. When the pandemic hit, she built a gym in her garage, so she knows that she's got the physicality. She's just got to make that adjustment.
It's tough as a point guard when the first game of your career you have Jasmine Thomas defending you, because she is one of the elite perimeter defenders and a bothersome player. I mean, look at how she's picking up Crystal right now.
She has been first team all defense each of the last 3 seasons, Jasmine Thomas, that is. The leaning jumper is good from Nafisa Collier, who is finally on the board. Her first bucket of the game, out there playing with 4 fouls, and Minnesota probably going to need a big second half from Collier to come back in this game.
Nafisa had some room to operate with DeWanna Bonner on her, gave her a little pump fake and go.
Jasmine Thomas's first field goal of the game. Bonner has 15 points, Alyssa Thomas with 16. Those are the only 2 members of the Sun in double figures, as Alyssa Thomas fouls Damiris Duntas. That'll be the second foul on Thomas. No, I'm with you, though, Rebecca. Kurt Miller seemed very concerned with the level of basketball his team would be able to play early in this season, but they have been much sharper than I would have expected.
I think a lot of it stems from the defensive end of the floor, where their activity has been able to be disruptive. He's used to coaching teams that take and make a lot of three-point shots. He doesn't know if he's going to have that this year, although Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis is a player who can shoot him at a high clip. And today's game, they're only 2 for 10, now 2 for 11 from the three-point line.
Meanwhile, Minnesota has not hit a three. They are 0 for 9 as Banham gets fouled and will shoot 2. We saw that a little bit yesterday as well with the shooting from deep.
Yeah.
Sort of uncharacteristically low, and could be some adjustment time for these teams as they acclimate to their new surroundings.
Yeah, we talked about that. I mean, this is a sound stage that they're playing, and it does not have the normal depth of an arena. And yeah, it might take a little bit of time.
Now, Rachel Banham was such a star at Minnesota in college. Finished her career as the Big Ten's career points leader. Never really got a consistent opportunity at Connecticut as Sylvia Fowles checks out. But, something Cheryl Reed pointed out, that was not necessarily a fault of Rachel nor a mistake on the coaching staff. It was just a testament to the pieces Kurt Miller had in front of Rachel on the Connecticut Sun. But perhaps with this opportunity, a chance for Rachel Banham to grow into an impact WNBA player.
I mean, it's all about opportunity. We saw that yesterday with Nyesha Hines-Allen, a player who was, behind the elite post for Washington Mystics a season ago, gets to start yesterday and has the game of her career. She looked phenomenal. It's about opportunity and seizing it.
Roll.
Brown can't finish the layup. Collier on the putback, no. Another chance here for Minnesota. Banham was wide open, but Christmas Kelly took a while to get it to her. Here's Banham, denied.
Simple. Square up. Simple.
No-look dish, and Jones finishes on a beautiful delivery from Jasmine Thomas.
Again, the veteran point guards who know just when to make the pass, how to use the added dribble to keep the defense on a string.
Push it, go. Come on, DD. Ball screen. Over. Roll.
Banham hooks it up, and a soft touch there from Rachel Banham. 9-point Connecticut lead. They have controlled the vast majority of this game. Thomas went too tall. Alyssa doesn't sprint back right away, and then a foul called as Christmas Kelly was bumped from behind. Connecticut did have a foul to give.
That was a smart foul because both Alyssa Thomas and Jasmine Thomas were trailing the play. Alyssa Thomas a little frustrated with where that pass went, and that saved what could have been an easy 2 in transition.
Natisha Heidemann in for Connecticut as Jasmine Thomas gets a breather.
Here we go. Get open. Let's go.
And
Sprint, Crystal. Go get her feet.
straight up.
Dangerfield spinning. The straight-on jumper is good from Damiris Duntus. She has not gotten a lot of looks in this game. 3 of 4 from the floor now, but Duntus, when she has had opportunities, has looked smooth. Alyssa Thomas misfires.
Duntus coming off a really good season last year.
And this season, fans can cheer on their team from home using Tap to Cheer in the WNBA app. The WNBA is donating $25,000 to the Black Lives Matter Global Network. During this weekend, fans can tap to show their support for social justice. Fans have already generated a total of 158,326 taps for this Sun Lynx game, but it's not over. Open the app to keep tapping and to see which teams win it all at the end of this fourth. I know you were really excited about tapping yesterday,
I
Rebecca.
know, and you know what? I forgot to download the app.
Well.
I'll do that between this game and our next game.
There you go. That's right. We have another one coming up, 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Chicago, Las Vegas, rematch of that outstanding second round playoff game last year. Heidemann alone, short. Here's Dangerfield. Dangerfield harassed by Heidemann, and then is fouled, and Connecticut's over the limit, so free throws coming for Minnesota.
Connecticut foul number 2. Sister Heidemann for second. First team foul under 2 minutes.
Connecticut just 2 of 12 from 3. Cheryl Reeves' Minnesota team 0 for 11. And Cheryl does believe that is going to be an area of improvement for her team this year, their ability to space the floor.
I mean,
At the moment, the verdict is out. But yeah, she certainly has players who are capable. Lexi Brown is a very good three-point shooter. Rachel Banham, a very good three-point shooter. Crystal Dangerfield has proven to be a shooter with depth at the college level. So just be a matter of finding their groove and getting their confidence in it.
One thing Cheryl Reeve also said about this new group, she said, we've won the culture game. So happy with the people we brought in, and being unselfish is not something I'm going to have to coach. About a 15-second difference. Game and shot clock as Thomas misses. Rebound scrapes out of bounds, and last hit Minnesota.
Box two. Box two, 6 seconds.
Alyssa Thomas, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Cheryl Reeve frustrated.
6.
Nice job defensively there by Christmas Kelly. Then she had it taken by Alyssa Thomas. Back and forth they go. The hot potato ends up with Minnesota and their first 3 of the game. Damiris Dunktis connects.
And of course it comes from the post player. Katie Smith just like threw her arms up in the air on the sidelines like, finally.
Heidemann buries the jumper.
No foul.
0.8 seconds remaining in the third. And that will do it for the quarter. Dewana Bonner in her first game with the Connecticut Sun, 15 points. Meanwhile, Damiris Dunktis with the first 3 of the game for the Lynx. It's the Sun who lead by 7 after 3. 3 Eastern, noon Pacific over on ABC and the ESPN app. We'll have Courtney Vandersloot of the Chicago Sky taking on Erica Hamby and the Las Vegas Aces. A rematch of that incredible second round playoff thriller from a season ago. Get ready to start the fourth quarter in Bradenton between Minnesota and Connecticut. And Nafisa Collier, the reigning Rookie of the Year, who scored 27 points in her debut a season ago. She has really struggled thus far today. 2 points, 1 of 5 shooting, and 4 fouls, Rebecca.
And you see the start of the fourth quarter, similar to the start of the third quarter. Cheryl Reeves running action to try to get her touches down low. And was that time telling her to take it at her, but Nafisa wasn't quite comfortable. So Connecticut has done a really nice job defensively limiting her touches, especially in areas where she feels comfortable.
Dribbled, they took a shot. We got to go screen the next action.
Duntis is fouled by Bonner.
Call DB into a screen.
Well, you could hear Cheryl Reeves saying "fee," meaning Nafisa Collier, you initiate.
Yeah, wants her to get the ball at the elbow area and work it from there. It takes a little pressure off of her guards to do that, and it also gives Duntis room to go on the low post.
Right here, 2 minutes.
Hands B.
6.
Hands B.
4.
Shot clock at 4. Johnson got fouled and will shoot 2. And that's also 2 quick team fouls against Connecticut in this fourth quarter.
And actually on that sideline out of bounds, it was Nafisa Collier getting it high up top and then running off some screens. That's action Minnesota used to use for Maya Moore.
How much of what we've seen from Minnesota's offense looking disjointed today do you think has helped once they have Odyssey Sims back?
It'll be helped considerably. Odyssey Sims is so good at breaking you down, getting touches in the paint, or getting her feet in the paint off a dribble penetration and opening things up for her teammates. She's a creator. I think part of it too is Connecticut's a really good disruptive defensive team.
Next action.
Mom Premier, Charles, Heidemann, Mosqueda Lewis, and Bonner, the 5 on the floor for Connecticut. Here is Heidemann. Guarded by Collier. Heidemann tries to tiptoe the baseline, and the shot clock expires. Strong defensive possession there from Minnesota. Minnesota with Collier, Duntis, foul, Shanice Johnson, and Crystal Dangerfield on the floor. 6-point game. Connecticut has control, but Minnesota in striking distance. Collier can't bank it in. Was wedged a little too far underneath the hoop.
Yeah,
but here's Dangerfield on the steal and the leg.
Great job by Dangerfield to make something out of nothing there. But that shot by Nafisa Collier, that's what she's usually going to make at a very high percentage.
It is a 4-point game. Connecticut gets some rest for Alyssa Thomas right now as Mosqueda Lewis can't hit. And another opportunity for Minnesota. Here comes Dangerfield, wiggling through the lane. She lays it in. It's a 2-point game. Strong start to the fourth for the Lynx.
Crystal Dangerfield, the second-round pick out of the University of Connecticut, has made a big impact the last couple of possessions for the Minnesota Lynx. She has been active on the defensive end of the floor, getting a steal for a bucket, and then using her quicks to get in the lane and finish.
No man on the Minnesota Vikings. True hurts need a
ESPN's coverage of the WNBA is brought to you by AT&T 5G and Taco Bell. Order ahead and pick up your favorites at our contactless drive-thru.
Fourth quarter action between Connecticut and Minnesota. Lynx on a 9-2 run. It's a 2-point game. Alyssa Thomas was unstoppable in the first half, but a much quieter second half thus far for the Sun. And Connecticut may need some more from Alyssa Thomas in the second half if they're going to pull this out.
Yeah, she has not in the second half been able to get out in transition and run and get easy looks like we saw in the first half. And Minnesota needs to continue to take care of the basketball, because if they turn it over, that's when it can lead to transition buckets for Connecticut.
Let's catch up with Holly Rowe down in the bubble.
Just listened into that last Connecticut huddle from Kurt Miller. Some of the players showing some frustration on that bench, you know, throwing a towel. They've been in control this whole game. They're letting it slip away right now. Kurt Miller said simply, you guys they're playing much harder than you are. We have to play harder. Minnesota outplaying us right now.
To quote him from the first half, energy, 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 energy.
Direct quote.
Like
That's a direct quote.
Think, yeah.
Nothing taken out of context there.
No, run it, stack high dribble. Line to stack high
That
dribble.
also right there was the third team foul against Connecticut. So they're getting dangerously close to putting Minnesota in the bonus early. Dangerfield has played a really strong fourth quarter thus far. Here's Collier giving it up. Straight, the right wing three is good from Johnson.
Collier drawing a lot of attention while she was handling the basketball, and just simple little pass to the player who's open sometimes is all you need.
Well, Minnesota started 0 of 11 from three as a team. They have hit their last two. It's a one-point game as Thomas blows the bunny. Here comes Minnesota, a chance to go in front. Knocked out of bounds by Jones on the delivery from Dangerfield.
Hey, 14.
But suddenly we have our first tight fourth quarter of this WNBA season.
Yay.
The results were not in doubt in the three contests yesterday. Fouls look like she may have traveled, or is it a foul? Let's see. Initially,
traveled.
It looked like a travel, but it looked like the call was a foul first.
Which caused the travel. Oh, yeah. Brianna Jones is riding her with her hip, which is the reason why Sylvia Fowles traveled.
Well, that is the fourth team foul on Connecticut, meaning Minnesota will shoot the rest of the way in this fourth quarter.
Shooting 82% on the day from the line. Minnesota's been effective there.
Here's Collier. Pull-up jumper. Rims off. And the rebound secured by Bonner. Connecticut a one-point lead. 6:37 to go in the fourth. Bonner weaving. Can't finish. Rebound loose. Taken by Shanice Johnson for Minnesota. And it'll stay with the Lynx. But Cheryl Reeves' team, which did not show a whole lot of life throughout the first three quarters, has really brought it thus far in the fourth.
Yeah, I wonder in the last 6.5 minutes how much of a factor fatigue will play for both teams. On that last possession after Dawana Bonner missed her shot, she did not cross half court.
Sylvia Fowles banks it in, and Minnesota has jumped in front.
Execute! Come on, DB!
For the first time since the first bucket of the game.
Move it!
Here's Jasmine Thomas, can't answer with a three. Dangerfield the rebound for Minnesota. Brown will take short. Offensive board dunked it. Right back inside. The double comes from Connecticut. Dangerfield short.
Run.
And Bonner the rebound for the Sun.
Move!
This is a fatigue possession right here. There's a lot of standing around.
Bonner's three is off. 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the fourth. Good read by Alyssa Thomas, trying to flag it down. She does, and misses the layup. second layup we've seen Alyssa Thomas miss in this second half.
She's usually the model of finishing.
Perhaps another symptom of fatigue. Collier goes to the reverse and hooks it in. Minnesota, their largest lead of the game, it's 3.
Simple. Next.
Thomas got the whistle and will go to the line to shoot 2.
Foul is on number 4, Lexi Brown. That is her second first team foul.
First team foul against Minnesota.
Jasmine Thomas on the line shooting.
And this has been an area where Connecticut has struggled at times today. 17 of 26 from the line. That's 65%.
Fee, you're across the top. You're across the top.
Thomas, a very strong free throw shooter, though.
I mean, so when you look at the stat sheet, so many of the numbers across the board are even. The separator for Minnesota is their efficiency, their better efficiency at the free throw line.
Minnesota shooting it at 82% from the line compared to Connecticut's 68. Here's foul, center of the lane. Fouls, can't squeeze it in. A chance here for Connecticut to go back in front. Thomas sets a mean screen at center court. And then a whistle and a blocking foul against Collier. But you see Lexi Brown still not up from that screen from Alyssa Thomas.
That is her fifth. It's the second team foul.
Alyssa Thomas is a solid blocker woman. And you do not want to run into that when you're going full speed and be blindsided by it. Your post player has to call out the screen. Whoever was defending Alyssa Thomas and didn't alert her that that was there.
Bonner hits them both. Connecticut back in front. Here is Dangerfield. Collier looking to get it into fouls. Instead will take. And hit from 3. Nafisa Collier gets the roll. 65-63 Minnesota.
Get through it.
Bria Holmes denied by Sylvia Fowles. Her 4th rejection of the game. 18 points, or 14 points, 18 rebounds, and 4 blocks for Sylvia Fowles. She's trying to catch Rebecca Brunson, her assistant coach and former teammate today.
Yeah.
For number 1 on the all-time rebounding list.
Reed.
Bonner thought about it, gives it up. 8 to shoot. Thomas. Back to Bonner. Her 3. Off. Good position inside. Brianna Jones on the follow.
Huge possession. Huge shot for Brianna Jones. Holding her position and getting to the offensive glass.
And Reed.
Okay, come on. Turn the corner.
Here's Collier giving it up. Dangerfield, you bet, on a 3.
Crystal Dangerfield has been a difference maker for Minnesota in this 4th quarter. She is playing extremely well.
7 points in the frame for Dangerfield. And how about Brianna Jones? 4 blue jerseys around her, but she made the difference to keep the possession alive for Connecticut.
And it's not because she's out leaping people. She's using her body and using her instincts to be able to figure out where that ball's coming off the rim.
It's fun to have a close game in the 4th quarter again, isn't it, partner? 3:05 to go in the 4th. Basketball is back. The opening weekend of the 2020 WNBA season. Bonner on the reverse, a little too strong. And here comes Dangerfield, the 16th pick of this year's draft. Collier swooping through and laying it in. Nafisa Collier gives Minnesota its largest lead of the game. It's 5. Timeout, Connecticut. Nafisa Collier may have gotten off to a slow start, but she has come alive in the fourth. 7 points already in the frame. Dishing, hitting, and her in Dangerfield. A big-time combo. Well, the Minnesota Lynx have erased a 7-point deficit after 3. They have a 5-point lead in the fourth. Crystal Dangerfield, a huge part, Rebecca.
After limited minutes in the first half, Crystal Dangerfield has come in and made her presence felt in this fourth quarter. She's shown energy on the defensive end of the floor. She has not forced things offensively, but when she's been open from deep, she has been able to hit, made a huge difference to help Minnesota get this 5-point lead.
I better say that name correctly because everybody should be saying it with the way she's performed here in her WNBA debut.
I was a little bit surprised that she fell to the second round to Minnesota on the night of the draft, but I was also encouraged for her because Minnesota was in a position where they needed a point guard. And we'll use this word again, opportunity. She was going to get an opportunity to play, and she has seized it here, primarily in the last 7.5 minutes.
Minnesota has outscored Connecticut 20-8 in this fourth quarter. After the Sun looked to be completely in control for the first 3 quarters, and now Dewana Bonner turns it over.
Minnesota being more efficient on the offensive end of the floor has not allowed Connecticut to get out in transition where they thrive, where they really thrived in the first half. Connecticut has not been as smooth in their quarter court offense.
Connecticut with no fast break points so far in this fourth. Here is Fowles, the deep catch, the turn, and the easy finish. Sylvia Fowles quietly dominating. 16 points, 18 rebounds, 4 blocks, 7 of 11 shooting. Jones from 17, no. And Minnesota, who had not led since it was 2-0 until earlier in this fourth, has really wrestled control of this game. Collier, the turn and the connection. A 9-point Minnesota lead. Timeout, Connecticut.
The UConn players coming alive here in the fourth quarter for the Minnesota Lynx versus Dangerfield. Now it's Collier.
The roommates in Bradenton have certainly come through now with their professional team, the Minnesota Lynx. 19 points in the second half after going scoreless in the first.
And they certainly have experience playing with one another, 3 years together at the University of Connecticut, and their games complement one another. On that last possession, when we saw Nafisa Collier take it in the lane, there was no help coming from Dangerfield's defender because she's been able to hit the threes. The first half, when Minnesota's struggling for the perimeter, the defense can collapse. There's less room for Collier to operate.
Minnesota has completely turned this game around. Trailed by as many as 11 through 3 quarters. The Lynx' only lead had been when it was 2-0. And they trailed by 7 at the end of 3, but here in the fourth, it has been all Minnesota outscoring Connecticut 24-8 thus far in the fourth quarter.
Cheryl Reeve making sure her players know, and in particular the younger players know they have fouls to give if it makes sense to use them.
What does Connecticut need here to get back in this game? Still a lot of time left, Rebecca.
I would think an attack either by Alyssa Thomas or Jasmine Thomas, something going at the rim where you can finish or find a three-point shooter.
Bonner is that shooter, can't hit. Rebound kept alive, but then snared by Collier, and now the clock is the friend of the Minnesota Lynx. Bonner 0 for 6 from deep now on the day, and Connecticut as a team is 2 of 19. Collier, the spin, the flip, no. Good D there from Connecticut, and then a foul called against Collier as Bonner a little shaken up, grabbing at that left knee.
That is her 6th. First team foul.
Hey, and so when you go like that to fade, get her up, go under. Just like that's your you start out. Rima, 30 seconds. Rima, you got this? You got this. I got one coming, okay?
Could see Bonner grimacing and hobbled after that contact.
Karina Christmas Kelly, replacing Nafisa Collier, who has fouled out of today's game.
And that foul on Nafisa Collier was her 6th, so she is fouled out. Jasmine Thomas leaves it short. Jump ball call. Duntis and Jones will jump it up. So Collier, who had been in foul trouble most of this game and had been quiet most of this game, with a tremendous fourth quarter, her line ends up 11 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and she leaves having fouled out with Minnesota leading by 9. I want to remind you, Chicago and Vegas coming up at 3 Eastern on ABC as our WNBA opening weekend continues. Full slate of games across our ESPN family of networks. Dangerfield gives it up. Brown in and out on a 3. Rebound, Karam's out of bounds off of Alyssa Thomas. And Minnesota will maintain possession 46 seconds away from an impressive opening game win.
And especially for them to come out and play the way they did in the second half. They struggled in the first half from 3. What were they, 0 for 11?
They were 0 for 11 at one point during the third quarter.
I mean, for them to continue to look to shoot them and to regroup a bit on the offensive end, limit their turnovers in the second half, find that confidence, find the combination that was working, especially with Collier and Dangerfield. You know, credit this Lynx team that still has a lot of young players.
Well, that's something Holly talked about off the top of the broadcast in regard to Sylvia Fowles and being at the center of, you know, the next successful run of Minnesota Lynx basketball. And you wonder who will emerge from this group that could be a core piece to go with Fowles, with Collier. When we asked Cheryl Reeve about that in regard to this season, she said, we need Shanice Johnson, Lexi Brown, Rachel Banham to have big seasons. And Shanice Johnson had moments during this game. Lexi Brown has not shot efficiently, but certainly has looked spry and active. But it's actually Crystal Dangerfield who was that other factor who stepped up.
If we asked that same question of Cheryl Reeve today or tomorrow, she would throw Crystal Dangerfield's name in the mix.
Jones pushes it in. 28 seconds remaining. 8-point game. Thomas fouls and more free throws coming for Minnesota. A plenty of upcoming WNBA national TV games. ABC today, Chicago and Las Vegas, the Sky and the Aces, 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Come on over and join us for that game.
We'll be there.
CBS Sportsnet tonight, Dallas Wings and the Atlanta Dream at 5 p.m. Eastern. Then Tuesday, a doubleheader on NBA TV, Washington and Connecticut, LA and Chicago. For more on these games, please go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app. We would highly advise doing that anyway, because there are going to be so many games on national TV. I mean, really, if you're a WNBA fan, this is the season for you. So make sure you head to WNBA.com to check out those updated schedules.
It's one of the few things you can do safely without a mask is sit in your house and watch WNBA action.
That's right. Thomas lays it in. It's all cosmetic at this point. Minnesota can dribble this one out. After trailing by 7 entering the fourth, the Minnesota Lynx start 2020 with a 77-69 victory over Connecticut. For our producer, Lori Privatera, our director, Jocelyn Meyer, Holly Rowe, LaChina Robinson, Rebecca Lobo, and our entire crew, I'm Ryan Rucco. Thanks for watching. Up next on ESPN, it's Major League Lacrosse. For more WNBA action, join us over on ABC for Chicago versus Las Vegas at 3 Eastern.